Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and at long last, by popular demand, Ninjago Retold has returned. First of all, to explain the delay, I essentially was waiting for the soundtrack composers to release official soundtracks for the Island, Seabound, and Crystallize to be able to make these videos. But unfortunately, since it doesn't seem like we're gonna get those soundtracks anytime soon, I figured, you know what, there's enough music out there for these seasons already. Let's just keep the show going and wrap up this entire series to have a long-awaited conclusion. And so, let us dive in to The Island, a special set right before Ninjago Seabound, teeing up some of the major events like Wojira. And we'll roll the intro right now. Previously on Ninjago Retold. Centuries ago, before time had a name, the first Spinjitzu master traveled to Ninjago, encountering a watery realm terrorized by the might of Wojira, the great sea serpent of wave and wind. Only with the combined might of the undersea Merlopians, the tribalistic keepers, and Niad, the first elemental master of water, was Wojira defeated, cast into a great slumber at the bottom of the endless sea. But when the Spinjitzu Master distributed the ancient amulets of Wave and Storm to the Keepers and Merlopians, creating the world of Ninjago as we know it, legends of Wojira faded into myth, and trouble is brewing on the Island of the Keepers, who have guarded the Storm Amulet with their lives since the dawn of time. This is Ninjago Retold.
You're a long way from finding a ninja in these parts, old man.
Lloyd is the Green Ninja.
Ultimate Spinjitzu Master!
Support me, friends, for one last time.
The new Serpentine War has just begun.
My master has arrived.
Guess it's true. The greatest love stories do always end in tragedy.
Maybe I'm departed.
Control time! Control everything! I have no son.
I cannot fight you, but I can resist you.
Endings will always come. All we can do is fight to make them good ones.
Revenge!
Protect those who cannot protect themselves.
You were programmed by the game to lose, but you don't have to.
I want you to promise me that you will always stand up to those who are cruel.
We are the keepers of the amulet.
I am. I am the sea. We are one.
There will be peace in the dark.
Episode 18, The Island. Chapter 1, The Storm Belt. As the ninja returned from their adventure in the mines of Shintaro, having locked away the necromancer King Vangelis and appointed Vanya as queen of the Golden City, Master Wu was reinvigorated with a spirit of adventure, delving deep into ancient research with Misako. All her life, Misako had been captivated by a mysterious storm belt centered around a dangerous sector of the Endless Sea. Determined to prove her theory that a storm belt was hiding a mysterious island, Misako enlisted Wu and the Explorers Guild to set off on an expedition, archaeologist and adventurer clutched powers in tow. As the group braved the storm belt and delved into the unknown, Misako's theories were confirmed. The belt was hiding an uncharted island, unknown to the people of Ninjago. Making landfall and venturing into the thick jungle, the group of adventurers encountered a mysterious stone totem. But as the sky darkened and unnatural purple lightning rippled from the clouds, the totem sprung to life and attacked the explorers. Back in the monastery of Spinjitzu, Lloyd and the ninja were monitoring the streets, keeping track of criminal activity after a recent cryptarium breakout, and noticing that their old ally, the bounty hunter Ronin, had partnered with the police to round up the escaped criminals, making money for himself in the process. But before Lloyd could investigate further, they were interrupted by the arrival of Cecil Putnam, head of the Explorers Club, who informed them that Misako, Wu, and the adventurers had all been presumed lost at sea, with all communication cut off for weeks. Desperate to save his mother and find Wu, Lloyd rallied the ninja to pull together all the information they had on the mysterious island, with Pixel confirming that the Storm Belt was notorious for sunken ships, and there was only one man who was known to have returned from the Storm Belt alive, Timothy Batterson, who had been blown off course on a balloon expedition and barely escaped the belt. And so, the ninja traveled to his gas station in the Bounty, meeting the enigmatic Twitchy Tim, who had been so traumatized by his experience in the belt that he refused to go into detail of what lay inside the storm, having been shocked by lightning dozens of times during his journey. And yet, as Lloyd explained they needed a guide to save his mother, Tim reluctantly agreed to join the crew, and the expedition set off for the uncharted island. Flying to the southern coast of Ninjago, Tim and the ninja prepared to enter the Storm Belt, deploying rugged catamarans which plunged into the dangerous water. As they entered the belt, the ninja were forced to use all their tools and cunning to weave through the jagged rocks, which seemed to attract the strange, purple lightning all around them. Sailing through the waters and barely managing to make it past the Storm Belt, the ninja finally came across the uncharted island, a mysterious, monolithic spire in the ocean, where jungles and far-off volcanoes could be seen. Making their way to the unnatural blue sanded shores, the heroes set off on specialized jungle choppers to chase down Wu and Misako's tracks and rode into the jungle. But not before Tim warned them of the horrors that awaited them deep in the island, and monsters that took the form of statues that preyed on all who ventured there. Chapter 2: The Uncharted Island. As the ninja made their way into the jungle, they encountered a native dragon, Zippy, who showed no aggression towards the group. But there was no time to waste, and so the ninja continued onwards, determined to find Wu and Misako. As they grew closer and closer to the location where the explorers' party had been ambushed, Zane realized the track stopped there, and all that remained was a mysterious stone totem, monstrous face carved into the side. Realizing they were all in imminent danger, Tim and Zippy fled, while the skies churned overhead, lightning zapping the statue and bringing the totems around them to life, as the ninja had no choice but to prepare for battle. Surrounded on all sides by these unnatural, living totems of stone and lightning, the ninja leapt into battle, hurtling their elemental powers at the statues, only for the totems to absorb their powers, sending them blasting back at the ninja. With all their attacks failing and the ninja overwhelmed by the statues, they realized they had no other choice but to retreat, fleeing from the might of the statues. In the commotion, Lloyd and Tim were separated from the group, with the 5 remaining ninja fleeing across a rickety bridge. And just when they thought they were safe, lightning curled through the air, blasting them backwards and knocking the ninja unconscious. As Lloyd and Tim huddled in a cave, sheltering from the storm, the ninja slowly came to consciousness, coming to their senses to see themselves being wheeled up a massive, ancient elevator, surrounded by creatures with mysterious, glowing purple skin. As tribal chants filled the air and purple lightning crackled in the skies above, the 5 ninja were brought before the apparent leader of this mysterious tribe, Chief Mamatis, who accused them of coming to the island to steal the Amulet of the Storm. Explaining they were bid by the first Spinjitzu master to protect this amulet with their lives, Mamatis told the tale of the Keepers, how they had lived on an isolated island for generations, passing down the sacred duty of protecting their treasure from any evildoers. He told of the sleeper in the deep, the monstrous serpent Wojira, who was struck down centuries ago, her power stripped and scattered between 2 arcane amulets of storm and sea. And Mamatis told of how the Keepers had taken a sacred oath to protect the amulet with their lives, and how anyone who laid eyes on the treasure must be sealed away for all time on the island, in the name of Wojira. And as the ninja were hauled off, Mamatis bid his soldiers to keep a steady eye out for more intruders and prepare sacrifices to Wojira, who they now revered as the wrathful god, her ancient legend twisted and morphed as the Keepers now worshipped her wrath, and would do anything to appease the serpent's insatiable hunger. Chapter 3: Wojira's Sacrifice. As the ninja were rounded up and imprisoned inside the Keeper's holding cell, they were reunited with Master Wu, Misako, and Clutch Powers, who had also been captured by the ancient tribe. Realizing that Clutch had ventured to the Forsaken Land to steal the Storm Amulet, and the Keepers were correct in their suspicions, the ninja had no choice but to await Lloyd, who would free them from their captivity. Split off from the group, Lloyd and Twitchy Tim huddled in the cave, with the Green Ninja taking on the role of a mentor, coaching Tim to accept his fears and push past them. Unable to convince Tim to join the fight, Lloyd prepared himself to save his friends and free his family, no matter the cost. Back at the Keeper's village, Jay was pulled aside from the group, separated and alone. And strangely, the islanders began to treat him like a king, showering him with food, gifts, and regalia. Calling him the Gift of Jay, the Keepers pampered the Ninja of Lightning, who appeared to no longer be a captive, causing Jay to believe they wanted to worship him for his power over the element of lightning. But as Lloyd journeyed onwards through the thick jungle, he realized that the jungle dragon Zippy was following him, and decided to use the docile dragon as a diversion to free his friends. Sending the dragon leaping into the village by hurtling coconuts through the air, Lloyd expertly leapt through the suspended village, stealthily making his way to the cage where his friends were being kept. But as he freed the others and reunited with his mother and Wu, he soon learned that Jay had been split up from their squad. And so, the ninjas searched for Jay while Clutch Powers snuck off to steal the Storm Amulet. But despite their efforts, the ninja could not locate Jay anywhere, and as they reunited with Clutch and tried to convince him to return the amulet, they were surrounded by the Keepers and captured once more. Strapped to poles by the beach and electrocuted by purple lightning, the ninja were forced to watch as Jay was brought forth, adorned with riches, and placed on a raft. For to their horror, it seemed like Jay had been chosen as a sacrifice to the ancient god. As Mamatis addressed the assembled Keepers and prisoners, he declared it was their duty to the first Spinjitzu master to make surfaces to appease the wrathful god. And for unknown reasons, it seemed Wojira had reawakened, for they had to keep her from rising up against the surface world, and her hunger was all-consuming. As the shape of a massive serpent loomed in the fog, Jay was pulled into the mist, sacrificed to Wojira. Chapter 4: Sleeper in the Deep. Horrified at the sight of their comrade being sacrificed to Wojira, the ninja struggled against their bonds, Kai breaking free of his chains while the ninja fought against the Keepers, pushing back to save Jay. Venturing forth into the water, the ninja battled the fearsome beast in the fog, blasting it with elemental power. But they were too late, and the monster seized Jay and sent him hurtling into the darkness. As the ninja barely managed to keep afloat, clinging to debris in the water, Lloyd made a startling realization. The tooth of Wojira was wooden, and someone had been deceiving the Keepers. Swimming back to shore and surrounded on all sides by the tribal warriors, Lloyd made a desperate plea to Mamatis, explaining that they had been tricked, for Wojira had not been awakened, but instead, a criminal had constructed a monster of wood and steel to deceive them. Shocked at this revelation, Mamatis explained that they had been sacrificing all their riches, food, and livestock to what they believed to be Wojira for months, and had to resort to a human sacrifice to hopefully appease Wojira forever. Mamatis explained that long ago, before time had a name, the first Spinjitzu master had bid them to protect the Storm Amulet from Wojira, for she would destroy all the realm with the power of the Endless Sea if she ever regained possession of it. Now realizing they had been fooled, the Keepers set the ninja free, and they raced in the direction of the wooden monster, stumbling upon a cave of riches, and criminals escaped from Cryptarium Prison. As the heroes fought the henchmen and the former inmates, freeing Jay in the process, they came face to face with the leader of the criminal cabal, Ronin, their old bounty hunter ally now turned to a life of crime. As Ronin battled the ninja and attempted to escape with the gold, Twitchy Tim, having been convinced to be brave by Lloyd, sailed in to intercept him, activating the power of the storm to supercharge his catamaran and ram Ronin's vessel, sinking it and all his treasure beneath the waves. As Ronin and his gang were apprehended by the ninja and kept in the care of the keepers, Mamatis made peace with them, accepting each other as allies in future battles to come. But during this commotion, Clutch Powers managed to swap the Storm Amulet with a fake, pretending to be caught in the act of stealing it. And this decision would have horrific ramifications for the future of all Ninjago. As Lloyd, Wu, and Misako sat by the water and watched the sunrise, they wondered if the legend of Wojira, the sleeper in the deep, was true, and if there really was an evil so great and powerful out there in the depths. And as the three pondered solemnly, praying that Wojira would remain asleep forever, they were unaware that deep in the endless sea, at the bottom of the Tartarus Trench, the real Wojira lay sleeping, already united with one of the two amulets needed to reawaken her and unleash her terrible power upon the realm. And with that, thus ends this episode of Ninjago Retold, The Island. Stay tuned for in 2 weeks, we dive deep into episode 19, Seabound. Thanks for tuning into Duckbricks, and Ninjago Retold is back, for we will be finishing up this series with Seabound and Crystallized, covering the Spinjitzu Brothers series, and even laying down some of the seeds of Dragon's Rising, culminating in a massive 20-plus hour video of the entire history of Ninjago leading up to Dragon's Rising. And worry not, for once Dragon's Rising concludes, I will do a full Ninjago Retold series on that segment as well. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you so much to LEGO for helping provide me with the soundtracks I needed to complete this series. Alright, and with that, we have summed up episode 18 of Ninjago Retold, The Island. Join us next time as we cover episode 19, Seabound, and I hope you enjoyed this retelling of the Ninjago story returning once again. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.